In a quiet village surrounded by thick green forests, an old banyan tree stood tall in the heart of the jungle. This tree was home to many birds, but two stood out: the black crow, Kalu, and the colorful parrot, Mithu. Kalu had glossy black feathers, sharp eyes, and a strong beak, yet he was always sad. He often looked at Mithu, who had bright green, yellow, and red feathers that shone under the sunlight. Mithu was admired by everyone, while Kalu was overlooked. Every morning, as Mithu sang melodious tunes, Kalu sighed, "If only I were as beautiful as Mithu, I would be loved too." Mithu, proud of his beauty, often laughed, "Kalu, no one notices a dull black crow. Look at me, everyone adores me because I am beautiful." Kalu lowered his head, feeling even more miserable. He spent his days wishing to be someone else, believing that beauty was the key to happiness. One hot afternoon, a hunter entered the jungle, his sharp eyes scanning the trees. He carried a net, a cage, and a bag full of grains. He was searching for birds to catch and sell in the market. As he walked through the jungle, he noticed Mithu perched on a branch, his feathers glowing in the sunlight. The hunter smirked. "What a magnificent parrot! People will pay a fortune for this one." Thinking fast, he scattered some grains on the ground near the banyan tree and hid behind a bush, waiting patiently. The sweet aroma of food filled the air. Mithu, spotting the grains, flapped his wings excitedly. "What luck! A delicious meal!" Kalu, perched above, watched cautiously. "Be careful, Mithu. This could be a trap." Mithu laughed. "You're just jealous because I get the best things in life. This food is for me, and I will enjoy it." Kalu hesitated. His stomach growled and the grains looked tempting. He decided to join Mithu, hoping for a meal. As soon as their feet touched the ground, the hunter swiftly threw his net. Both birds flapped their wings in panic. Kalu, being small and dark, managed to slip through a tiny opening in the net and flew away, his black feathers blending into the shadows of the trees. Mithu, however, was trapped. "Help me, Kalu," he screamed, but it was too late. The hunter grabbed him and placed him in a golden cage. Kalu watched from a distance as the hunter carried Mithu away. That night, Kalu sat alone on his tree branch, staring at the moonlit jungle. He had always envied Mithu's beauty, but now he saw the truth. "I was foolish," he whispered. "I wanted to be like Mithu, but his beauty became his trap. My black feathers, which I hated, saved my life today." For the first time, Kalu felt grateful for who he was. He understood that everything in nature had a purpose, and he was exactly as he was meant to be. Meanwhile, Mithu sat in his cage in the hunter's home, heartbroken. He had been admired in the jungle, but now he was nothing more than a prisoner. Gone were the days of flying freely in the sky, feeling the wind beneath his wings. "I was blind," he murmured. "I thought beauty was everything, but what good is beauty if it takes away my freedom?" Days turned into weeks, and Mithu realized that pride had led him to his downfall. He longed for the simple joys of the jungle, the fresh air, the company of other birds, and even the presence of Kalu. One day, a young boy in the hunter's house saw Mithu in the cage. Feeling pity, he secretly opened the cage door. Mithu hesitated for a moment, then spread his wings and flew as fast as he could. The feeling of the wind brushing against him filled his heart with joy. Mithu returned to the banyan tree, exhausted but free. Kalu, surprised to see him, flew over. "Mithu, you're back." Mithu looked at Kalu with newfound wisdom. "I was wrong, Kalu. I thought beauty made me special, but freedom is the greatest gift of all. I have learned my lesson." Kalu smiled, "And I have learned mine. I spent so much time wishing to be like you that I never appreciated who I was." From that day on, Kalu never wished to be different, and Mithu never bragged about his beauty again. The two birds, once so different in their thinking, became best friends, understanding that true happiness came not from how they looked, but from the freedom to be themselves. Moral of the story: embrace who you are. What you see as a flaw might be your greatest blessing.